Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is our place to be plant-biased, where we talk about all the different kinds of vegan products out there, plant-based comparisons, reviews, all the good stuff. Today I have some soups for us, and the reason I chose these for today is because the Gardein canned soups are new, or at least to me. I haven't really seen them before, but I noticed them in my grocery store this past week. So I figured, let me do kind of a review of those products as well as a comparison to the old favorite, which is the Amy's brand. So we have the Amy's no chicken noodle soup as our kind of control, as our old timer. This has been around for a while. These are a new product, I think recent at least. So we have the Gardein chicken noodle, it's the apostrophe N chicken, which I think is always kind of cute. And then we have the Gardein chicken and rice, looking good. And then a little bit different, the Gardein beef and vegetable. So that should be really interesting. All of these are kind of similar in their nutritional value. Canned soups have kind of a bad rap, right? You're not supposed to eat them all the time. They have a lot of sodium in them. They're definitely not as healthy, as nutritious, or I would say as good as homemade soup, probably ever. They're canned, they're preserved with a lot of stuff, and unfortunately, that's just the truth. But they are a nice, quick, easy thing to take with you, like if you need a lunch, or you're just not feeling like you want to make dinner that night. These are a really good option. I personally have not tried any of them, so this will be really interesting to know kind of how these compare to the much loved one. I have a lot of friends who eat Amy's soups and they swear by them, so we'll see. The Amy's soup looks like it has almost like a spaghetti type noodle in it. It's non-BPA lining, which is great. Per can, 180 calories, 9 grams of protein. That's kind of nice. And over 1,000 milligrams of salt. So it's about 47% salt. That's what it says. Which, yikes, that's a lot of salt. But it has our nice, vegan symbol on here, which is fantastic. You can recycle the can, obviously. And, no, there's no dairy or eggs or actual meat in here, of course. The one thing that I do really enjoy about the Amy's can is that it says, Amy's Kitchen was started when our daughter Amy was born in 1987. We are a family business deeply committed to producing convenient, delicious foods made with the highest quality ingredients. So for all intents and purposes, they started out as a small company, right? And when you look for their address or their factory or brand name, it's Amy's Kitchen Incorporated, and they're in California, which, they're not some huge conglomerate, they still have kind of small business values, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just assuming, but it seems like they're a little bit more charming and family oriented, and these are a bit more mass produced seeming. We'll see. But overall pretty normal for a canned soup. Lots of sodium, 5 grams of sugars, 22 grams of carbs, 0 cholesterol, no trans or saturated fat, which is great. Serving size is 1 container. They do give you all the nutritional information for 1 cup as well. It's a shake before opening. You can microwave, you can stovetop, normal stuff. So that's our Amy's no chicken noodle. And then for our Gardein, these are all very similar. You have over 1,000 grams of sodium for the chicken noodle, 13 grams of protein, so that's actually kind of nice. Total sugars 5 grams, dietary fiber 2 grams, no trans or saturated fat. Well, there's 0.5 grams of saturated fat. Interesting. 200 calories per can, so a little bit more than the Amy's. And this is Conagra Brands. They're a much larger company. They're definitely not, your, you know, cute little family story type of company. It's Conagra, you know. Contains soy and wheat. This one's also soy, right? Mm-hmm. Same thing, soy and wheat. So if you have a soy allergy or a wheat allergy, these are not for you, but it's pretty typical. Same cooking instructions, no eggs, no dairy, no artificial preservatives or flavors, non-BPA liner, that's fantastic. Plant-based chicken, amazing. So really similar, except this one does have more protein, which is kind of nice. You know, if you're looking for, you know, more nutritional value, I don't know. So, Gardein. And then these are pretty much the same, except this one has no saturated fat, 190 calories per can, and this is the chicken and rice. Same as this one pretty much. Soy and wheat, all the good stuff. And then the beef and vegetable, same thing, except this one has 15 grams of protein, so that's cool. A little bit more on the sugar chart there. This one has the most sodium, so this one has 1,100 milligrams of sodium. This one has 1080, this one has 1050, this one has 1082. Yeah, 1080. So, okay. So this one has the most sodium and the most protein and 0.5 grams of saturated fat and the most calories. So 230 calories, 190 for the chicken and rice, 200 for the chicken noodle, and 180 for the Amy's chicken noodle. But this one looks really good. I'm excited about this one. So awesome. So I'm going to heat these up and I will be back with you to try them. Ta-da! So here we have our heated up soups, and I put them in little glass teacups so that you could see kind of what they look like and all the coloring. So we should try the chicken noodle soups first. So I'm going to scoop these over here. All right, so we have Amy's on my right and Gardein on my left. So the Amy's definitely has the like spaghetti-like pasta. I see carrots, I see onions, I see celery. I see little like chicken-looking chunks. That's kind of nice. The broth is definitely yellow. It's got those like little oil bubbles on top, which is kind of nice to see when you have soup. It's thin. It's not as thick as the Gardein. So it has like a nice like brothy look to it. Looks like there's some herbs, maybe like dill or parsley. Let's see if I can show you the side here. So it looks nice. And then the Gardein has larger chunks of celery and carrots, and it looks like that's all I can see. And then the pasta is kind of like a twisty looking guy. I don't know. Looks like there's some herbs in there too. Definitely a thicker sauce. Still brothy, but definitely a little bit thicker. So let's try them. Let's go with the Gardein first. I'm gonna get a noodle. Definitely has this like very herbaceous flavor to the broth. Real herby. The pasta is good, but it definitely has that like softness. You know, it's not al dente pasta at all. It is almost dumpling-like, which some people might like. Tastes like soup from a can, but it's good. I mean, I would totally eat this for lunch or like on a snow day or when I'm feeling a little under the weather. Definitely herby. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Large chunks of carrots. Also very soft. So there's not a lot of, you know, textural diversity in this soup. I think that's just what you expect. And then the chicken with the apostrophe N is like these little dumplings, you know? So let's see. And that's my favorite part of the soup. The little chicken dumplings. They're like little meatballs. So let's get something all together here. Yeah. Very reminiscent of my Campbell's chicken noodle soup days. Very soft. Not a whole lot of texture. Soft noodles. Almost like dumpling-like, very like thick, soft noodles, which some people might like. The broth is almost like creamy for a broth. There's no like milk or creamy products in it, but it's a little bit thicker. Yeah, I would say 1 out of 10. I'd give it a 7 for a canned soup. You know. All right, Amy's. I like that Amy's has this like these little like oil bubbles on top. That's so chicken noodle soup, right? So broth. Ooh. That tastes a little bit more homemade, and it's almost a little bit sweet. Ooh. Okay, so you can see all the like different components here. Let's try it. Okay. So everything, again, very soft. The noodles, not al dente noodles. The chicken are like these little cubed pieces, not dumplings. Those don't really have any discernible flavor to me. They're probably just for like aesthetics and texture. So the Gardein one, the little chicken meatballs, had like a nice chickeny flavor, and I liked the texture, and I liked they're these big chunks. I definitely would prefer the chicken in the Gardein over the chicken in the Annie's, but I like the broth more in the Amy's, not Annie's, sorry, in the Amy's, because it has like a really nice like complex flavor. It's herby, it's got a little bit of fat to it, but it's like a little sweet. If you gave this to me at a restaurant or from your house, I might not know that it was canned. I might think that it could have been homemade, except for maybe the noodles being soft. That would probably give it away, because that's so like, indicative of, you know, canned soup. Soft noodles. So, you know, the softness of the additives is not ideal, but I think that's just what you get, you know, but it's good. I really like the broth. So for a canned soup, 1 out of 10, give it an 8.5, maybe 9, depending on the day. But I really like the broth. That really kind of sets it apart for me. I like the Gardein, especially the chicken little meatballs, but the broth really does it for me here. So that's awesome. Both good choices though. I would still go for the Amy's, especially because I like the small company thing, and well, not small, but you know, family oriented. I like the mission statement of that one. They've been around forever, so I would like to patronize their consistency. And they clearly have a great recipe, so I think I'm gonna stick with that one for now. But I would buy the Gardein again because I like the little meatballs. But moving on. So now we have chicken and rice from Gardein and beef and vegetable. Both vegan, both plant-based, which are usually synonymous, but they're kind of like trying to say plant-based more often because it sounds better. There's like this negative connotation that goes along with being vegan. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know why anybody would be upset with somebody trying to save the planet, but doesn't matter. So chicken and rice. Let's see. It looks like it has the same broth and the same chicken meatballs as the chicken noodle one did of the Gardein. So I'm assuming this is probably the exact same thing. It just has rice instead of noodles. I think I'm right. The rice also has no texture, just soft. I feel like maybe this one's even a little bit more herby, or it has more like thyme, or, you know, those like Thanksgiving spices. Yeah, I feel like maybe it has a little bit more herbs than the chicken and noodle. But other than that, it's exactly the same. It just has rice. So if you prefer rice over noodles, chicken and rice is probably for you. I got a little bit of a chew on that last carrot there. I think it helps that they're in bigger chunks, you know? But, okay. You know. And then this is our beef and vegetable. I'm gonna have some water. Beef and vegetable, very different. Has almost like a tomatoey looking broth. I see some carrots, I see some peas. These beef chunks are large. I'm gonna show you this one too, just so we stay consistent. Very similar chicken noodle, just has rice. And then this one is definitely tomato-y. It definitely has that like quintessential beef broth. And look at these chunks. I wonder if these are maybe seitan or just some kind of, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I see onions, I see carrots, I see maybe celery, and peas. So let's try some of the vegetables first. So it's not an offensive flavor. I don't mind it. I don't dislike it. It's just definitely more tomatoey. This one tastes the most like it came from a can. So, I don't know. I feel like beef soups are typically that way. Let's try a little meaty guy. It doesn't particularly like scream, I'm a chunk of beef, but it's got a good texture. I like the little chunks. They definitely do look steak-like, so, I mean, they have that going for them. Again, all the vegetables, super soft. The broth is nice and thick. You know, they definitely add some kind of thickening agent in there. And like, these hunks of, you know, beef are nice looking. But you can definitely tell that this one is from a can. There's really no, unless you like zhuzhed it up on the stove with maybe some cream or some non-soft vegetables. I don't know. So that big chunk of beef actually tasted quite nice. So maybe I'm changing my mind a little bit about those, but okay. So Gardein chicken noodle, what did I say? 7 out of 10. Amy's 8.5 out of 10. Chicken and rice, probably 7 out of 10, because I'm a pasta girl, so if I'm gonna have the same soup as the chicken noodle, I might as well go with the noodle. And then this one, I'm gonna say probably 5.5, maybe 6 out of 10. It's not bad. I do like it. I could definitely eat it. I'm just being a little bit nitpicky. It's not bad at all. I would absolutely buy it again and maybe zhuzh it up a little bit, but it's just not my favorite out of all of them. I would say that my favorite is actually the Amy's chicken noodle, but you know, I hope that you guys try them and you let me know how you feel. I think they're all good options. I wouldn't have them every day because of their sodium content, but overall good products. And I feel very lucky to have found these in my local grocery store. You know, I feel like I'm seeing new products every single day, and I just love that. You know, the future is vegan, right? So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that it inspires you to go out and pick up something new. These soups are all, I believe, under $4, which I know is a little bit expensive for a can of soup. But if you try any of them, I would go for the 2 chicken and noodles. The Amy's is great. The Gardein is really good. I like those little chicken meatballs. So if you go for any of them, do that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna just continue eating these as my lunch, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe and like this video, and I will see you all soon. Bye.